Good evening. My name is Kurt Freskowski, and welcome to the Finance Committee meeting of the Town of Ayer for Thursday, June 20th, 2024 at 6 p.m. This is in the first floor meeting room of Town Hall, and it is a hybrid meeting. This meeting of the Finance Committee will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast, unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 860-8777-1519 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Carly Antonellis, Assistant Town Manager at atm@ayer.mass.us or 978-772-8220, extension 100, prior to the meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the review of the May 16th, 2024 meeting minutes.
I have no comments.
I have no comments.
None. I move to approve the meeting minutes from May 16th, 2024 as is.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Jen?
Aye.
And Jen, aye. Very good. Meeting minutes are approved. The first item on the agenda are three reserve fund transfers. We'll take a look at, let's go.
Which one do you want to do first?
Bear with me here. Let's do them in ascending order. Unemployment compensation, IT, and then legal services.
Okay.
So I've got them open here. Bear with me. Oh, okay. You assume my eyes are that good.
We can zoom in as needed. How about that? There you go, Kurt.
Okay, the first reserve fund transfer request is for unemployment compensation. The amount requested is $2,178. The present balance budget is a negative $1,725, and the amount is being requested for unemployment charges, and the expense is extraordinary because of unforeseen discharge of employee for performance. So, discussion, questions?
Sounds pretty
Observations?
self-explanatory to me. I have no questions.
I
Okay.
would just ask why the dollars are different. Why 1725 and
It's projecting out until June 30th.
oh, okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the request for transfer on unemployment compensation of $2,178.
Seconded.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. And Jen? Aye. All in favor. Okay. You're good. The second item is for IT. This is for IT services. The amount requested is $40,000. The present balance in the budget is a negative $15,500. The amount requested will be to fund IT services and payroll through June 30th, 2024. And the notes are the IT budget was underfunded in FY '24 due to unknown new costs for town email, server security requirements, and other client-based security enhancements. So questions, discussions?
I always get confused about the fiscal year. So we're talking about this year, June 30th?
I guess it's similar to Eric's earlier question. The request amount is more than the deficit. So is it that the expected expense is more than 15,000? So this is 15,000 negative is what you don't have enough now, but you still expect to spend more than that till June 30th. Is that right?
Yes.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Robert.
Yeah, to answer, Jin, to answer your question, yes, so that you have the shortage was 15,500. And what we do is we've projected out, in addition to the shortage, how much we're going to need to close out the fiscal year. And that's why we're requesting 40,000 to take us through June 30th. And as the FinCom is aware, if we don't need the full amount, it will revert back to the town.
I see. Thank you, Robert.
Right. And then, Bob, you had a
We're currently in
question?
fiscal year '24. Yes, got it.
Yeah.
After June 30th, we're in '25.
The new budget.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, the same factors that drove the IT budget for FY '25 are what has caused this.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, and I just wanted to observe, I was sort of expecting this and actually glad for it because of the, well, one, the new Outlook is very easy to use, and two, I don't think there can be enough security on our
Right.
town IT systems.
I feel the same way.
Okay, and those,
Yeah, did you guys, I assume you guys have read that recently there was a Globe article talking about both the town of Arlington and the town of Orange. Because of their town email problems, they end up paying scammers. In the case of Arlington, I think over $400,000.
Yeah.
And the town of Orange, like 300 something.
Yeah,
Pretty bad.
it is. It is. You just have to stay on top of it all, and they keep coming out with new tools. And, as many as we can implement is what we want to do.
okay, so yeah, so on that, and just to sort of reflect, Jen, what you mentioned is, and then, so Cindy and Robert, where our town is up to date on
Absolutely.
security.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Special, yeah, Cindy's in top notch. We've got the maximum security.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So we have a motion.
I move to approve the transfer of $40,000 from the reserve fund to cover the IT expenses.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, and Jen says aye, so all in, unanimous?
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Right, and then the last reserve fund transfer request is for legal services. The amount requested is $30,000. The present balance in the budget is $13,821.73. The amount requested will be used for April 24th invoice, May 2024 invoice, June 2024 invoice, excuse me, that was April 2024 invoice, and ongoing property enforcement matters. And the expenses extraordinary or unforeseen for the following reasons. Beginning in February 2024, the town has been involved in an ongoing property enforcement matter which was unforeseen at the time the FY 2024 legal services budget was developed. Additionally, the legal cost of this enforcement matter has been extraordinary in scope. So again, the amount requested is $30,000. Questions, discussions?
Can anyone explain what this legal property enforcement matter is? I'm kind of ignorant about it.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Robert.
So just a couple background info. So obviously the town council budget, which this is for, the town manager is responsible for. So all departments that need town council services go through my office. This is designed, we've done this for many years, to control costs and so forth. And when we do the town council budget, we base it off the previous year and try to take into account the legal needs of the town. And so we budgeted for FY '24 last year for $75,000. And I should point out that the town council budget has been generally coming down. Several years ago, it was at a much higher level of almost 200,000 due to various litigation matters. The challenge with this budget is we can't foresee all of the legal matters that may just present themselves to the town. And so actually, if you look on the shared screen, you can see that we were doing very well. So we're billed monthly, so you could see we're billing monthly. And then, as I pointed out, to the extent possible, I can say starting in February, there was a significant property enforcement matter at 17 Taft Street, which was in the news. It was unforeseen. It has both civil and criminal implications on it. And you can see the legal service budget jump considerably to $14,251 from $4,900 in that month. And then, and this is an ongoing matter, you can see the March bill, and we still have the April, the May, and the June bill to get through. So I calculated taking the maximum exposure from February at $14,000, factored in looking, and I consulted with town council, and we feel that $30,000 will be sufficient for the town council account to get us to July 1st. So when a property enforcement matter presents itself, not only does it involve various town departments, it often will involve town council. It involves often going to court, so these costs go up considerably. We had no way of knowing that this issue would present itself until it did in February. So from time to time, this budget in particular really falls under the extraordinary and unforeseen category.
I can fully understand, Robert. Just I wonder, in a little bit of a layman's term, the property enforcement, what does it mean?
Oh.
Is it that the town is seizing someone's residential property, or?
Okay. Yep. Yeah, so excellent question. So when we say property enforcement, what that means is that there is a property that is in violation of, it could be several things. It could be in violation of the town's nuisance bylaw, which sets forth all requirements for property. It could violate the building code, provisions in the building code. It could violate issues in the fire code, and also important is the Board of Health. It could violate issues from the Board of Health. And keep in mind, on these issues, we work very hard with individuals through the boards and committees, and that the legal venue is always sort of the last resort. So I want to, stress that we don't just get to this point. This particular case, the said property involved violations of the building code. It involved issues with animals, so it fell under the Board of Health. Some fire concerns as well. So in order to bring the property into compliance to protect the public health and the public safety of not only the public but the owner, we have gone into court to have the court remedy this. I want to stress, we do not, as a matter of, when I say property enforcement, the town is not looking to take any property, like through eminent domain or so forth. So this is to bring the property into compliance.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no
Robert.
problem.
Question?
Yep.
So given that it's ongoing,
Yeah.
I know this is only through June 30th
Yep.
that we're dealing with, but did the budget for the
Mm-hmm.
next fiscal year, was that taken into account? Do you just wait until the end of the year to fix it if need be?
Excellent question. So when talking with town council, we anticipate the bulk of the actual cost impacts to be this February, March, April, May point of view. I mean,
Okay.
things are moving rapidly forward. Costs after that should begin to balance out, and we should be okay with the FY '25 budget. I should also add, as part of the town's position, but this isn't a given, there is an opportunity potentially to recoup some of these legal costs. The reality is that may not be for 24 to 36 months from now, but the good news is if successful, we could recoup some of those costs. But we should be good for FY '25.
Thank you.
Robert, thank you very much. You just answered my question is, when we work through these things, do we try to have the judge set up something where the defendants could be required to pay court costs? So, yeah, good.
I've got nothing.
Any other questions or observation? Okay, I move that we approve the reserve fund transfer. I move that we approve the reserve fund transfer request for $30,000 for legal services.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 I
We have unanimous. Very good. So the reserve fund transfer requests have been approved. The next item is the FY 2026 budget planning. Robert, if we're going to have a question for you
Sure.
in the next few minutes.
Okay,
So,
I'll come back,
okay.
and thank you for your support of the transfers.
Thank you. Okay, so I was looking at the minutes from last meeting, and Andrew had updated me also, and two things. Want to talk about clear.gov, but let's come back to that. I think we can discuss, and this is where I was going to sort of call on Robert, the idea of having department heads give us reports sooner than later.
Then
in
March.
No, so I guess would we consider August, September?
Quarterly?
Say 6 months.
Quarterly?
Well, I mean, so technically 6 months would be,
The summer.
yes, well, that's where I was hoping for Robert's input. And Robert, before we ask for your input, so what I was thinking is we want to look at getting department head updates, and what I've heard, what I'm reading, and is we want to include, as we get this scheduled, is we don't need a full report, but an update where they are from last year. And I'm reading from the minutes last meeting. And adding any new items that will be on the horizon the town should be aware of. Any cost savings that they're pursuing, and then also any revenue generating and grants that they are pursuing. So we want to look at having the department's heads give us an update. Robert, we're going to ask for a minute maybe what the timing on this, but it would include updates on current items, new items, cost savings, and revenues. So what would be a way to look at the timing for us?
Yeah, so a couple things, Mr. Chair, and I'm
Yep.
glad that the committee is looking to the FY '26 budget already, as are we. So a couple things. One is, I'll be coming back to the FinCom shortly because we want your input on the annual budget schedule that we do. And there are some changes we'd like to potentially make to that schedule that would be in everybody's best interest. So for example, the tax classification hearing has traditionally been in December. We'd like to move that up a little bit. Also, as you probably have noticed, more significantly, in the budget, so the initial budget has been due right before January 1st, and then Barbara and I get it to the FinCom and the Select Board. And we've had that first budget hearing in January. One of the challenges is in January, we don't have all of the information. The reality is we have all of the information for the FY26 budget more in February with the schools. So my first thing that I offer is we'll be coming back with a draft sort of schedule of the year, and we want, your input and so forth on that. Secondly, more specifically to your question here, any department, and I'd be happy to facilitate, schedule that, come before the FinCom for any information or questions that this committee would like, so we can facilitate that. It's very early in terms of the revenue, projections for next year, but we could start a discussion about a lot of the general conversation about the proposed, budgets moving forward or major issues and grants and so forth.
Are you, when you talk about having them come in for updates and reports and whatnot, are you referring to, okay, so FY like 25, what we're moving into, how expenditures are going and everything for essentially what will be the current fiscal year, or are you referring to the future fiscal year?
Well, that's what we want to sort of. So, right now we are entering FY 2025. Okay, because it ends in 2025. Okay, so and next February and March, we're going to be having the town departments do their presentations for actually FY26.
Right.
Right. Okay. So what I was reading in the minutes and was hoping for is sort of a mid-year update from the department heads on, we're in the midst of 2025. Here's how we're doing so far with the budget. And again, by the way, here's some new things that are coming up. And here's, again, the cost savings we've been looking at in revenue. Again, and I think the idea was, and what I sort of picked up from Andrew and picked up from the meeting minutes, was that instead of waiting until February, March, and just finding out everything at once, and this way we would just stay on top on things. I don't think it needs to be, I was just throwing out to the committee, a full-fledged presentation is just more of a, hey, how you doing? And so what I was wondering is would August and September, I'm throwing out this to Robert and the group, be a good time to start scheduling that? September, October?
Whatever's fine.
Well, so if essentially the fiscal year starts July, so if we're, say, meeting in August or something, that, I don't know, would that be enough time for any department heads to get any kind of sense?
Let me ask a question first. So, when I'm running my business, I get a monthly statement of, our financial statement, and then our revenue, our expenditures, and it's all categorized by, call it cost code for sake of a better word. I'm assuming that happens within the town. Is that a good assumption?
Yeah, so Carrie, the town accountant, and I think we post it on your website, and the town website does a monthly report. So you can see in the monthly report, she puts, it's from Munis, it'll show you, I'm oversimplifying, but the original appropriation amount used to date, so that comes out every month.
Right.
So we make that posted, so that does happen.
So that's available for, so I guess what I'm saying is, do we really need a full-fledged presentation? Or are we able to just look at those monthly statements and get an assessment?
I would have said it was more of like the police chief shows up and he's like, yeah, we had a shootout, so now we got to buy a new car. or something, right? We didn't account for it. That's really
Okay.
extreme.
All right.
But, like maybe Dan's saying needs a new truck, it broke, or like the dam let go somewhere and we got to fix it.
Okay, all right,
No surprises kind of thing.
got it.
I think a couple things that I would suggest is, one, I would say after, as we were entering summer mode and a lot happens, I would say after Labor Day would be sufficient to start. But it's up to the committee. I think some topics, in addition to these mid-year checks, and I know what you said with the departments, we can work on the annual budget calendar, as I mentioned, as we want you involved in your input. The ClearGov piece, which though we've launched, I think we could do, sort of a further deep dive at one of your meetings with the ClearGov, module and that tool. And we're also going to be using ClearGov for the capital process, so that could be another topic. And then, I think if the FinCom would like, we could do, some brief mid-year department, updates on the major issues that we know at this time or anticipate at this time moving into the year ahead.
All right. So what I'm hearing and I'm thinking is maybe because hopefully in September and October we're going to go back to 2 meetings a month. So maybe October would be a good time to start looking into this. And then maybe in September we'll just reach out to you, Robert, and say, hey, if we can just have at our meetings in October, the department heads just give us a quick year-to-date snapshot of their department, budget-wise, and everything. And I think it just would give us we're monitoring things for
Right, so essentially kind of what you're saying there, Andrew, so like, let's say, the Chief Gill comes and is like, how are things going, or has there been any surprises somewhere, or
Did he fill his
whatnot?
vacancies in his department?
Yeah, no, not an actual like presentation, just to sort of
Yeah.
catch
And
up.
they could give an update like on grants and so forth.
Yeah, that was the other thing, is I just think is one thing that we can sort of stress at these meetings would be, remember, because I was thinking about, we were talking is, at budget, when you send out your budget requests, you always let the departments know, you're coming up with your budget, make sure you're fine tuning your budget, what cost savings and stuff that you're doing. So I think this would be an opportunity, and looking at October, saying, hey, make sure, what are you working on to save money this year? And the flip-flop, are you getting as many grants as you can? Are you making sure that your revenue sources are updated and everything? Again, I think just as our role as a watchdog for the town, I think it'd be literally throwing it out there. And
Is that, so along those same lines, is there a list of grants that we're going after now? Is it an internal list within each department, or is it a general list of?
So we could get you that information. What I have historically done before the first budget presentation is get a list from all departments of the grants that they've successfully applied for.
Okay.
We could obviously do that, sooner. That's easy enough. Ask departments, what have you applied for and received, and what do you anticipate? We could get that together, and they could, even if you do these mid-checks with them, that could be part of their mid-check. We can also get it all together for the committee on one page, as they say.
Right, well, I don't want to create more work. That's
Yeah,
the
no,
other
no,
thing.
no, it's
I mean, everybody's
important.
got their job to do, so
Yeah.
the objective is not to create more work, but
Right.
use the existing or available reports that we have.
Yeah,
That
and we
makes
like
sense.
to, I think it's important because all of our departments do an excellent job in securing a lot of grants, and it's important for the public to know that and what they're for. So that's a good idea. Mr. Chair, I also just propose, so the fall town meeting will be the fourth Monday in October, which is probably like October 24th. I don't have a calendar in front of me. And though traditionally that meeting is not for financial matters, it doesn't mean that there are never any, so it'd be the 28th. Yep, the the 28th. That doesn't mean there isn't the possibility of there being some type of financial issue. So obviously, we'd put that on our list. We'd want to be coming to the FinCom much sooner and get you in the loop. Couple things I'm thinking of. One is the stormwater utility. As we know, there's the public hearing is on Monday upstairs at 6. And I know that the utility group would like to come to the FinCom to give it, and I know Jen is on the working group and has done a great job on that, but as we get closer to, fully update the FinCom and see where you stand on the stormwater utility, because that would ultimately have to be approved by town meeting, and right now, the working group's target is for this fall town meeting. The other one, which we're not at yet, and so there's no definitive, but as you probably know, there's a committee actively looking for the site for the future senior center. They are sort of narrowing that down. The good news is it appears it looks like it's going to be a public land site, so we don't have to worry about the land costs, but the cost of the project, and we're not there yet. I know that Barbara and probably the chair of the committee and myself, when we have more information and more specifics, would like to present and discuss with the FinCom the financing approach to that. And it's still early. I mean, we've got some steps to do, but that's going to be on the horizon as well. So I would just add, and I'll keep the chair updated. As of right now, I would say the stormwater is probably the most definitive one that we know, but if other financial matters, once we know them that require town meeting approval, we'd want you to be informed and to weigh in sooner than later.
Good. So, very, very good. So just to summarize for the minutes, in October, we'll be looking at having department heads do quick updates. So as we get close, in September, we'll be reaching out to Robert for that. And Robert, Bob, you just sort of mentioned this, and the other thing, sort of part of the budget is the clear.gov feature. I think it's important that we just get a better handle on how we're using that, and thank you. I'm getting names already. Carrie. You said there's something on our website right now?
There is a town budget on the website for ClearGov, and we have come to decision that it is a process to upload the expenditures. So we're going to be doing it on a quarterly basis. So basically, it will be updated for July 1, obviously, with the budget that's in there now, which is there. But it'll also be the expenditure part for FY24 will be then in there as well. So, and then on September 30th, we will update FY25's expenses as of September 30th, and then so forth. So it'll be on a quarterly basis that we will be updating in ClearGov. So it will be every 3 months. So you'll have an idea there. But as Robert did indicate, that every month I submit a report that it's the expenditures up to the previous month. So I just submitted a report just recently, which would have been May 31st, up to May 31st expenditures. So it shows the budget, it shows the expenses, and it shows what's remaining.
That's your monthly report, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the town accountant's monthly report. So if you go to the department monthly reports under my page and click on the town accountant, it'll have that month.
So let me ask, could we, so would this be ready? Our next meeting is going to be in the third Thursday of July. Would your first round of reports be ready by then?
Unfortunately, I cannot indicate that because we actually, don't forget, our vendors, have invoices, and I don't get them until like the second, third week in July. Okay. So we're going to date them for July 1st, but they probably won't be posted to ClearGov until like probably late August, because we're still finalizing the books ourselves. We still have revenue coming in. We still have invoices that are dated June 30th. So we're getting invoices like until July 15th for June. So it
So-
probably won't be until closer to the middle of August.
Okay, so here's why I was asking is that, so we've got meetings in July, August, and then I'm thinking, as we're talking, we'll probably go back to 2 meetings a month in September. So what I was hoping is to ask if it's going to be a meeting in August or maybe the first meeting in September, you can do a presentation for the group. So just say, here's how we're going to use, show us how to use ClearGov on the site.
Absolutely.
I think that would be really neat to
Yeah.
to walk us through, and then
It's very user-friendly. If you went into the website now, you can see that what we have up there, it is showing the FY '25 budget already in there. So that's great just to look and see them, but yeah, I'll absolutely can show you, walk you through everything. That's not a problem.
Okay, yeah, I think because it would be valuable because this will be the first time that it's all updated, and so it'll have a lot of meaning to everyone that,
Would August be an appropriate time to do it, or would September be better?
I think
Just in
personally, this is my first year with ClearGov, so I would really rather do it a little bit later than earlier because I actually have to close out state reporting as well.
So the fiscal year '24 reconciliation, does that happen during July? Is that what the?
It actually
is that-
happens between July and September. It's
Okay,
a
it's a
long,
long
tedious
process,
process,
right? Yeah.
absolutely.
So let's make a note then for the first meeting of September tentatively, or a meeting in September, to have Carrie do a presentation on clear.gov and how to look at it on the website with the most up-to-date information. That would be so, because we can all poke around, but having someone walk us through it would be really valuable.
Now, this is just the financial part of it. As for the capital part of it, that would be the finance manager, Barbara. So there's 2 different parts of ClearGov that we have to indicate, so.
Can we do both, or
So
as I look at
the
Barbara?
capital process, we just signed up for a July 1st contract to start implementing it. So I can try my best to have it ready for September. It will be ready before my plan is to have it ready for the actual capital process,
Which starts the end of October.
which starts the end of
All
October.
right, so then let's just keep it simple. We'll just have your presentation
Budget.
here. Okay, so we'll have a note for in one of our September meetings, have Carrie do a presentation on clear.gov, and so we can we in the town, if anyone, can use the website for that information. That's terrific. Okay, so I think that's for the 2026 budget. The next item on the agenda is the committees, updates, and I'm sorry, is it Robert or Bob? Bob. You want to give us a quick update on that rate review meeting?
I was not there.
No, the one a couple weeks ago. Yes, where we... Yes.
I am drawing a blank.
Transfer station.
On the study?
Yes, right.
Yes,
That was the rate review meeting. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Now you're testing me.
I mean, I can do it too. I mean, just...
Yeah, I'll let you do it because it'll take me a little bit to
Okay, yeah. No, I just...
remember exactly what took place.
You're right, and I sort of knew that this was what I was going
Yeah.
So for at the rate review meeting, the outside group that the town hired to do a presentation on the transfer station gave a summary of their study. Has the formal study been submitted and is available for review on the website?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And I think the main takeaway is that was one, that the transfer station is well run, is doing a good job. And then the second takeaway is that, and Robert, I'm going to look at you again to correct me if I'm wrong, is that the DPW is going to prepare some analysis and on future
Fees,
and
permit, sticker fees.
sticker fees and
Bag fees. I think
bag
they
fees
do.
on
That's the plan for the July meeting of the committee. DPW will have further refine the recommendations.
Okay. That's a July meeting of
Yeah.
rate review. Okay.
Sorry about that, Kurt.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead to the capital committee, which I'm on, and there's nothing going on right now. And then Jen, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Just a quick update on the stormwater.
Sure. Okay. I didn't want to cut you off, so.
Oh, no. I know we have the meeting on Monday. I just don't wonder if you have any other insights or you want to share with us.
Not much insight, but I can give you a quick update of what the stormwater working group have been doing. So there are a few aspects that they have the group had done is one is they had drafted a policy for say that if we do get to implement this stormwater utility fund, then how we're going to charge people and how we define certain type of like right now they are thinking of charging residential homeowners by the individual residential units, and so basically like how they're going to run this thing. So they have drafted a document for the policy, and then there were also the people have had extensive discussions about how to charge the rate, and so the town has hired an outside consulting company and to kind of propose the rate. And in reference to the other towns that have already implemented this type of funding structure, and so and then of course with the rate, there probably would be, I think the town's motivation of implementing this stormwater utility fund is also it's a way to encourage businesses like real estate developers to put in better practice to kind of limit the burden to the town's sewage system, sort of like limit your own stormwater runoff to the town's sewage system, so that they said that if there are certain ways that you can like build a rain garden. There were some other ways I don't remember now that will kind of so if you do enough of those things, you can get credit so that you will pay less into this so there was a lot of discussion on how to do this and so on. I think that the credit policies probably apply more to businesses than individual homeowners, but the thing is that if we implement this stormwater utility fund, the businesses are going to be affected more than the homeowners. What the proposed fee for homeowners to me is really, not much of not a big deal, but it's my personal opinion. Other people may disagree. But the two businesses, that have like big parking lots, they can end up paying quite a bit. So the town needs to kind of get those people prepared, to accept that. So that's so that's pretty much what the group had done is because I think that the one thing that the group completely agreed on is that we need to have a dedicated revenue source for stormwater treatment for various reasons, and then how to reach that is so that's what the group have been working on. So on Monday, Dan, the DPW director, will give a very full presentation on the whole thing.
Great. Thank you, Jen. Thank you.
Sure.
So I'm going to plan on attending that meeting on Monday. Since I'm retired, I have nothing else to do. So, Jen, are you going to? Do you think you're going to try to attend?
Yeah, I'm going to attend by Zoom again.
Okay. All right. Good. And then I'm just going to throw out, Robert, you had mentioned that the stormwater will be, you think this will be something that might come up in town meeting. So what I'm wondering is, maybe either in our July or August meeting, we should be looking at having Robert do an updated presentation on the stormwater.
Do you mean Dan?
Dan, I'm sorry, Dan, thank you.
I mean, I'm not sure how much use Robert would be.
That
with
would be
stormwater.
fair. I would think either your July or August meeting.
Okay, then I will, be nice to, if they have the meeting, I'm thinking maybe August would probably be a better
Yes.
time frame to allow for them to,
Yeah.
because I didn't realize they were going to have they're going to have an outside agency get involved now also. From what Jen, is that right, Jen? To work on the,
Sorry?
you said that they're going to have Dan and DPW and this stormwater thing is going to have an outside agency also help with the formulating this?
No, they have been using that consulting company, I think, for quite some time.
Oh, okay.
It's still like it's not an outside agency. I believe it's just a private company.
Oh, gotcha.
But it's a private company that have been working with municipal governments. Seem like fairly extensive. They have a material for like 20-some different towns that they have worked with.
Okay.
So it seems like it's probably a fairly normal practice that towns would hire these kind of consulting companies to help them
Gotcha.
to go through this whole process.
So do you think if I reach out to Dan and see if, tentatively schedule for him to do a presentation to us on our August meeting would be a good idea?
Sure.
Okay.
We can ask Tim. Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, I'll follow up then, so August stormwater. Okay. All right, and then we'll also keep that senior center on our radar. That's going to be a fun topic.
Everything costs money.
Yes. Okay, I think we've covered everything on the agenda.
And our next meeting is the
18th, it looked like.
Thursday, July 18th, 6 p.m.
Fine by me.
All right, and do we have any public comments? Anything online?
There's no one else besides Jen?
No, okay. All right, I think we've covered everything for this meeting. Thank you.
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good.
Bye,
Thank you.
Jen.
Meeting is now
Thank
adjourned.
you.